Ukraine's top military spy has suggested the only way Russia will stop its brutal invasion is if Vladimir Putin dies. Kyrylo. When asked if Putin could end the war alive, he told the new Voice of Ukraine, leaving him a way to retreat is one of the strategies, but it is almost unrealistic. He is a war criminal for the whole world. This is his end. He drove himself into a dead end. The spy chief did not propose any suggestions for how Putin might die. But he said he believes it could spark a political crisis in Russia, which could see the country divided up. Budanov said Putin's death could also lead to the relative preservation of the territorial integrity of the Russian Federation when changing the country's leadership. Many Western analysts have claimed Putin wants to claim some sort of victory or major escalation by Russia's Victory Day on May 9, which celebrates the Soviet Union's defeat over Nazi Germany. Budanov said he believes Putin is now scrambling to mobilize more forces ahead of the symbolic day. He said, they had the main deadline, to have time to finish by April 24. They completely failed him. The second date is to complete the operation at least in Donbas by May 9. Putin cannot admit that he is losing to Ukraine. But an imminent victory still seems unlikely, as today Ukraine pushed back Russia from its second-largest city in a successful counterattack. Kiev's men stormed east out of Kharkiv, in northeastern Ukraine, on Monday and managed to recapture the town of Staroye Saltiv around 30 miles away, according to a Pentagon intelligence briefing. The move relieves pressure on Kharkiv, which Putin's men were intending to capture and which has been heavily shelled, while also threatening the main Russian supply route for forces currently fighting in nearby Donbas. Journalists who ventured out of Kharkiv behind the advancing troops described the nearby countryside as an open-air graveyard, with the streets and fields littered with bodies lying unclaimed. One of the most gruesome sights was the discovery of what appeared to be Russian corpses arranged into a Z pattern. The bodies of civilians were also found inside apartments and burned out vehicles nearby. Both likely constitute war crimes. Meanwhile, footage showed Ukrainian artillery destroying a column of Russian armored vehicles further south, to the west of Izium, as heavy fighting continues for control over Donbas. The Ukrainian advance came on a day when little else changed along a front line stretching hundreds of miles from Kharkiv in the north, to Mariupol in the south and further west towards the city of Mykolaiv. American intelligence says Russia launched 30 missiles against targets inside Ukraine yesterday, while artillery continued to pound defensive positions in an attempt to soften them up for troops to attack. Despite the heavy shelling, Russian gains have been tepid, the Pentagon said. Moscow's forces made only minor advances around Popanza and further north in the town of Lyman, as they attempt to surround Ukrainian troops defending the cities of Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, Sloviansk, and Kramatorsk. Both sides are said to be suffering heavy casualties in the region, though Russia's losses are widely expected to be worse than Ukraine's. Russia's slow advances are due to commanders trying to preserve troops after units were mauled in the failed effort to capture Kyiv, the US says.